Name's Dan, and I'm the owner of Outland Health and Fitness.
All right. And being a gym owner for many years, you obviously hold physical health in a high regard, and a substantial part of that is the food side of things. So how long would you say personally you've been closely watching your nutrition?
At least 10 years. As a family, we decided to change things up once I got more heavily into the fitness industry. And the focus of how we were eating became really important. So my wife, as the leader of the house, decided to make some changes. So we cleaned out how we ate, what we ate, so learning through that process.
And what are some of the biggest, I'd say, lessons you've learned about nutrition over the years?
Keep it as simple as you can. People overcomplicate it with so much info out there. Everyone's kind of looking for the next hack.
Yeah.
Eat real food, the stuff that our grandparents grew up on, the stuff that everyone's saying, eat your veggies, eat your fruits. Get a balance of real whole foods, single ingredient foods, keeping processed junk to a minimum, and limiting alcohol.
There's some saying about shopping on the outside of the grocery store, right?
Yes.
The outside has all the produce and the meat, and the inside is kind of where all those sugary, refined stuff hangs out.
Yes, the good stuff. Though they are getting a little sneaky, and they like to throw the chips in the outside aisles now. And
they're figuring it out.
Yeah, the managers are starting to reorganize a bit, right?
Yeah, grab your bag salad and maybe just a bag of chips.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I've talked about it on my show before, but there's certainly a difference between eating healthy and eating to lose weight. So can you kind of outline how your eating habits would differ if you're strictly trying to lose weight or if you're trying to eat healthy?
I think they'll kind of ripple into each other, because that's where people think, right? They think that they need to diet to lose weight. And I think that's kind of the issue, because dieting creates an end goal, a point that I'm going to do this for a certain duration, I'm going to lose a certain amount of weight, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Right? Eating healthy and creating a new lifestyle is just that longevity. The time I'm here, I'm going to eat well. I'm going to eat balanced. I'm going to enjoy those treats that I like. I'm going to have that balance. But because the majority of the eating is based on healthy living, it's not a point that it's this pressure that I need to do this.
Yeah.
It's a pressure that I want to do this so that I'm healthy, strong, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's a little more sustainable, right?
Completely.
Sometimes you get to the end of that diet and then you're like, yep, accomplished, and then you run loose and then you lose it all, right?
Exactly. And what's the point? Sure, you'll learn something, but then that's the people that we're going up, we're going down, we're going up, we're going down. We're always trying new things. And that's why I'm such an advocate of keep it simple, eat real food, right? The fads, the ketos, the changing the diets, the cutting this out, the limiting that, that's why people bail, because we like what we like. And especially as people, and especially as cultures, food is such an important piece of us that if we're going to say that we're not going to eat certain things we love, you eventually will eat there's certain things you love, because you'll want to.
Exactly. And that's where the falling off happens. So sustainability is a huge part of it, right?
Yeah, completely.
So, and you touched on it, the fad diet. So over the years, there's been a number of these trendy diets. There's been keto, carnivore, Mediterranean, whatever else under the sun. So have you ever tucked into one of those trendy diets over the years?
I haven't. The most of a diet I would say is when we first got into the fitness world, we did a diet called the zone diet, which the idea and the base principle is that you want to eat a protein, a carb, and a fat every time you eat food. Every time you sit down, whether it's a small snack, whether it's a dinner, whether it's a lunch, breakfast, you want to have a blend of your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats. These are your main macros, super important. Protein is the biggest one for building strong, lean muscle, right? Keeping our bone density strong, things like that. And especially as we get older and as we age, it becomes super crucial, not just as we're young. So focusing on always having that balance, and the zone kind of helped us learn that a bit. But now it's just every time you eat, just think protein, carb, and fats. And the healthy fats, right?
Yep. Makes sense. For a couple of years, I did the intermittent fasting thing, which that kind of circles back to the eating healthy versus losing weight, right?
Yeah.
Because the intermittent fasting essentially just limits your calorie intake for the day. So you do end up losing weight, but you can still kind of eat whatever you want because your window's so small, right?
Sure, yeah. And actually, I've played with intermittent fasting the last few months, and I like it for a couple reasons. I don't do it for weight loss. I do it for more of giving my system time to regenerate, right? If we're always eating, our digestive system's always working. So on a cellular level, things are always having to work versus actually having time to repair themselves.
Yeah.
So a longer fast will just allow your cells to actually rejuvenate, allow things to happen, and giving your gut a break. The gut is the motherboard of our body. And if your gut's kind of out of whack, which is a complete and direct rippling effect of what you put into it,
Yeah.
right? Everything that goes into your mouth goes through your gut.
You bet.
So if it's junk that you're putting through, it's going to be a bad gut. If it's healthy, it's going to be a good gut. The gut's ecosystem needs to be healthy and strong to help us fight viruses, to help us fight colds, diseases, inflammation, all of this stuff. And the only way to do it is by eating real food. There is no medications for it.
Yeah.
The medication is just eat well, move well, and live a healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely. And talking about the eating well, obviously we're talking about nutrition. And a big part of that is, circling back to the grocery store, nutrition labels. A big help when it comes to selecting the right foods at the grocery store. So what should we be looking for on those helpful white labels? How should we read them properly?
Keep conscious of the amount of fat that's in the product you're looking at, right? We don't want too high a fat. Look at your protein, look at your carbs, but also the sugar, right? We don't want to ingest too much sugar, right? Because that's the sweets, that's the things that are going to be spike the insulin, do some havoc on the body, make us gain weight, things like that, right? And fiber. Fiber is a really big one because it keeps you fuller longer, so you don't feel like you want to eat as much. And that's the kicker. Nutrition labels are all good, and you want to use them again because we are going to eat stuff out of the box, but the less box stuff you eat, the less you have to worry about it.
Fair enough.
I truly believe that, if you just eat meat, fruit, vegetables, nuts, seeds, all the good stuff, just eat food regularly.
Yep. And a big sneaker, I would say, with the nutrition labels is the amount, right? Because often it won't be the entire box, or it'll be a very unique amount, and you'll look at it and go, oh, 100 calories, this is great. And it's like, wait, that's for 2.5 chips.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden you're halfway through the bag and you're...
Or it's dry weight versus, cooked weight. And you actually measure, right? Half a cup of oatmeal, for instance, shows the calories. Oh, half a cup is actually more calories. So sometimes it's misleading. So even if you're tracking and you're focusing on that weight loss through labels, they could be very misinformative and keeping you stuck or not sure what's going on.
Yeah. And a big side note to that one is volume compared to weight, right? So like my tablespoon of peanut butter might not look nearly like your tablespoon of peanut butter, but by weight, then it's all the same. Because when it comes to nut spreads like that are so caloric dense, that changes pretty quick depending on what if you have a heaping tablespoon, you could add 100 calories like that.
Easy.
So,
and if you want to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. It's as simple as that. Calories in versus calories out. We want to work on moving more and eating a little bit less, right?
The golden rule.
And those peanut butters, those sauces, if you're not sure, just look at the label and give it a measuring. See what a tablespoon of peanut butter actually is and do the numbers. See what your tablespoon of a salad dressing actually is and do the numbers. Those are the sneaky little ones that people just don't pay attention to. So if they're on a weight loss journey, they can add up into 200, 300, 400 calories a day. And that's enough to get you not in a calorie deficit.
You bet. Overall, why should someone put emphasis on their nutrition? As a gym owner, obviously it's very important. What would be your elevator pitch to someone attempting to improve their diet or their nutrition level?
Eating the real food is going to save you tomorrow. Eating the stuff today is going to keep your body healthy, keep your joints healthy, keep your gut healthy, which in turn will help you reduce inflammation, which will in turn possibly reduce some chronic diseases, issues that are so easily preventable by just the food we eat, which then ripples into the fact that you get to be here longer with your loved ones and all that good stuff. So by changing small things in your diet is enough to create longevity so that everyone you love gets to have you longer.